Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we are live this evening in UFRL, and this is your Tier 2 race held from the Texas, USA, the Circuit of the Americas, and this is round 3 of 12 for your Grand Prix tonight. As you can see, the race results from last week are top 10. Silky Stevens secured a victory, having secured a podium in round 1. Boy knockout in P2, Wovner securing his second Tier 2 podium as well, P3 for him. That was also Silky Stevens' first UFRL victory. Parkour P4, Destroyer Dragon Gandalf securing a double Alpine top 6 finish. Viking in P7, Mickey P8, Epic Frenchie 9th, and Dutch Beast the last on the top 10 for the Aston Martin. So plenty of different teams all in that top 10. And what does that do for the drivers' standings? Well, Silky Stevens does lead the way, and he has a 10-point advantage over Gandalf in second position. And then he got Boy Knockout third, Wovner fourth, Salty Stevens also in the top 5. So both Williams doing well. ARC Mickey in P6 with Destroyer Drac, Epic Frenchie, Willie Fernandez, and Viking Fox making up the rest of the top 10 in terms of a championship battle, of course. One of those, maybe, in that top 10, surely are going to go on to win it. Silky Stevens looks to be a favourite at the moment, but Gandalf, we all know, he is a very strong Tier 2 driver. In the Constructors, Williams are 45 points ahead of Red Bull. That is a combined Constructors between Tiers 1, 2 and 3. And they are ahead of Red Bull, who've impressed, having secured a 1 and 2 in Tier 3 last week as well. So that was a massive result for the Red Bull team, and they are pushing closer towards Williams at the top of the standings. The Visa RB, Kicksauber and Mercedes also in the top 5. We have a look what is occurring on track then. Well, a few drivers just on their outlaps. Let's get all the telemetry up for you guys. Don't really need the tyres because most of them will be going on to the softs. And Wovner is the first driver out there in the Williams this afternoon, or this evening, should we say. It's a bit late to be afternoon, isn't it? So yes, Wovner first, James Killer reserving tonight. Silky Stevens also just behind. So 2 Kicksaubers running in tandem as we await the first laps here at the Circuit of the Americas. And we'll go with a direct on board with Wovner, who will just take you through into the final sector on his outlap. And then we'll move back to the broadcast here. Around a tricky hairpin down at turn 15. Potentially could see some overtakes heading on to turn 15 as well in the race, which will be intriguing. Of course, typically it is a send down the inside into 15 that can get you in a move. But what about a potential move round the outside at turn 15? That could be an opportunistic opportunity for a driver through the race. But here we go as Wovner kickstarts his lap into turn 1 and running right on the right hand side of the track, slightly onto the curb. And now you can slightly hit cut the corner as well down at turn 1, but now we head all the way to turn 2 before hitting and approaching the S's from turns 3 all the way through into turn 9. Such a complex of corners here. Got to nail it. If you go a bit wide at one of them, well, it's going to massively compromise the rest of your lap here. So Wovner into sector 2 now, and we'll run through into turn 11. Again, this is a possible overtaking opportunity at turn 11, but the best of overtaking opportunity down the straight all the way into turn 12 with your DRS wide open. One of 2 DRS straights here at the Circuit of the Americas. Salty Stevens retiring, serving his qualifying ban this evening. I think you've got a few drivers also serving a engine penalty. Willie Fernandez being one. EM in the Ferrari serving his as well. And I think Mr. Potwash in the Visa RB also serving an engine penalty this evening. But Wovner rounds turn 16, 17 and now into 18 and into turn 90 through the left-hander, gets onto the curb, a little bit out of touch, but now into the final corner through turn 20, and to complete the Williams first lap this evening, it will be a 1:31.673 for Wovner. Let's head to the 2 Kicksaubers. Well, the first one James Kinner has and validates. Let's go towards Silky Stevens, who decides that he wants to join James Kinner in validating his first lap. Let's go then towards ARC Mickey, who's just behind his teammate James. but Mickey is on a lap and has used all of his deploy heading into the final two corners at turns 19 and 20. A little bit onto the curb again. Not going to be quick in a Warner. It's a 32.9. It's only enough for P2. What about Gandalf? Is he going quicker than Warner? Across the line, it's a 32.1. He goes into P2. But Warner, for the time being, is the quickest driver. What about Boy Knockout? Boy Knockout's only done enough to go P2 at 31.9. But is ahead of Gandalf. Silky Stevens goes back out onto another lap. And it's just heading into the middle sector at the moment. A few drivers are also on out laps. Woody Fernandez, Rotti, Epic Frenchie and Angry Badger as well. William, of course, will be serving the engine penalty, so will retire in the pit lane at the end of his outlap. Let's go directly on board with Silky. I don't think anyone... I mean, Viking Fox is just starting. Well, he's into the middle sector now. You've also got James Kidder, who will be just ahead, but he's only reserving from Tier 3, so it's more about getting these Tier 2 drivers in action. And let's see what Silky Stevens can do for his first run. Still getting used to Gandalf not being in the Mercedes. Of course, he was in the Mercedes for back-to-back seasons, Season 7 and Season 8, after being signed by Woody Fernandez. And now he has just been signed, of course, by Destroyer Drac, going into this season, Season 9, as Silky Stevens cuts the corner and therefore invalidates and also runs into the pit lane. So Silky Stevens abandoning his mission there. James Killer, 5th fastest, a 34.5. And Badger also invalidating. Let's go and have a look towards somebody who is closer. A lot of invalidations occurring. What about Viking Fox, as he is on a lap? And we'll just stick with him. Then he's got 2 more corners to commence. Can a Viking Fox challenge with the likes of Warner, Boy Knockout and Gandalf through what is a punchy top 3 at the moment? Viking across the line. It will be P4 just behind Gandalf by 7 thousandths of a second. Gandalf invalidating his next run as well. Destroyer Drac just about to start a lap. A lot of people have been struggling to keep it within track limits so far. Epic Frenchie, however, is also on a lap. And what about Angry Badger? Well, that's another invalidation. So let's go towards Epic Frenchie in the McLaren. So we'll take you through at turns 14 into turn 15 as well, at a left-hander. And again, just narrowly avoiding the curb on the outside. And now through the nice suplex of right-hand corners. A right-hand bend, effectively, which just comprise of 3 corners, turn 16, 17 and 18. And now through the final corner at turn 20. What can Epic Frenchie do? And it will be a 32.1 P5 for Epic Frenchie, just behind Gandalf and Viking Fox there. Let's see, Silky's back out again. Badger on another run. Destroyer Drac, we know, has just started his lap. We might just stick with him, as Rotti invalidated his previous run. A Kick Sauber running slow. That might be Silky Stevens, although both Kick Saubers are now out and both in Sector 1. But let's just stick with Destroyer Drac then for the time being. We have seen first laps. Let's just quickly have a look. Viking Fox, is he improving? No, he's not. Let's go back towards Destroyer Drac then. See if he can set a strong first lap to contest with Warner for that pole position, or well, briefly at least. Can he be up there with Warner on this occasion? He will come across the line. And can Destroyer Drac? He's not going to be close, actually. 32.6, he'll be disappointed with his first run. Must have made some mistakes down the line, because it's only enough for P6. And obviously with several drivers yet to start a lap or complete a lap, Destroyer Drac will likely fall out of the top 10 after everybody's first runs. If everybody can get a first run in, because again, many drivers have been invalidating. Rotti, not one of those at the moment to have invalidated on this occasion. You've also got a McLaren of Epic Frenchie ahead of him, but Frenchie has so far set a lap and is actually going into the pits. Let's see what Rotti can do. They're trying to push that Mercedes up, but he's going to set a 33.7. It's only going to be enough for P9 for Rotti, so not a strong first lap here. And DD Friend has invalidated as well. What about Woody? Typically a strong qualifier here, but can he qualify well at COTA? And let's see what he can do. You've also got Dutch Beast. I might just go towards Beast quickly and see what the Aston Martin can do. It's a 33.4, goes P8 for Beast. Let's go down again towards Woody, a little bit squirmy out of 20, but it's also P8 for Woody, 32.8 for him. And now you've got the Alpine coming across the line. That will be Gandalf, and Gandalf goes into P3 at 32.1, or stays P3 rather. He is just starting another lap. Destroyer Jack behind him, not improving in no battery, but will go for another run. James also out there, his teammate in the Red Bull tonight. ARC Mickey just heading back into the pit. Check back. DD Friend invalidating Silky Stevens. Yet to get a lap time on the board. His second sector split of 101.856. Again, can he be up there? Looking for another podium. It would be a third consecutive podium in the start of Season 9. And also picking up victory last week and third place on round 1. So can Silky Stevens continue his impressive streak here in Tier 2, as he's just looking to push it all the way to the limits here in turns 19 and 20. And again, onto the curb nicely. It will be a 31.8, and it is enough to go up to P2 for Silky Stevens. So that could be a very solid outing for him. And could he be the one to watch here in Tier 2 this season in terms of a real title threat or title challenge? DD Friend on that invalidation, of course. James just behind, not invalidating. It looks like he's on a half decent lap, is he? He'll be into the 33 to 33.3, puts him into the top 10. Rotti still out on track in P13. And it was a quicker time. Gandalf 31.538. And now the Alpine goes on to provisional pole ahead of Wovaner, who is also on a lap and also is improving. Let's move away to Destroyer Drac, not gaining through the middle sector, so he may just fall out of touch here. A 32.9 stays in P7. We've got Viking on an outlap, so let's go towards Wovaner then, improving by 2.5 tenths through the middle sector, and looking like he's got mighty pace here as we approach the final sector. Can he get it right? And if he can, there's surely going to be a provisional pole position for Wovaner. Surely he's going to take it just here. It's turn 20 now. The left-hander nicely onto the curb. And now it will be a 31.2. A gain of 4 tenths. And Wovaner absolutely flying here at the Circuit of the Americas. And that puts him clear of Gandalf, who will be a little bit disappointed that Wovaner has cleared him by such a margin as well. So we've got Silky Viking Fox rather improving through the first sector, but only marginal. Destroyer Drac not burning any battery. Still 6 minutes of qualifying remaining. James not gaining any time. And we'll see if DD Friend across the line. It's a 32.8. And it is up to P9 for DD Friend. A decent first lap for him. I think he'll be satisfied with his first attempt. Undoubtedly there. So it is into the top 10 for DD Friend. Of course, Tier 3 last season, so he'll be looking to make his mark. And maybe tonight could be an opportunity for him to impress his team principal Kesenator. Destroyer Draclin, obviously on the no battery charge. But what about Viking Fox? You've also got the Red Bull, it looks like, or the Visa RB rather, on an outlap, I presume. Let's just stick here with Viking Fox then. And it is a lap being started. In fact, it is the Red Bull. It is ARC Mickey. But Viking Fox deciding to abandon his lap and goes into the pits for the Haas there. Let's move back. Then ARC Mickey just starting his lap. DD completing it. And it looks like everybody else, Silky Stevens potentially not on a... Well, he is on a lap actually. Just not gaining any time, unfortunately. But with 5 minutes to go here in qualifying, he can still get his car into the pits, either on this lap or the next lap. So it's genuinely up to Silky Stevens how he wants to play this. But he's still trying to push it all the way here. Let's see what he does. He is staying out and trying to complete this lap. It's probably his final run before he heads back into the pits. And is it going to be an improvement? No, it's not. It's going to remain P3 at 31.889. Currently the quickest lap for Silky Stevens. Epic Frenchie on track again. Let's head towards DD. Let's not head to DD Friend because he has invalidated. What about Angry Badger? You've guessed it, invalidated. Let's move away. Let's go back towards... We're going to have to go towards Epic Frenchie then. Or ARC Mickey. Actually, let's go to Mickey, gaining by 3 tenths. Just remembered he's on a lap here. And now we're into the final sector, out of turn 15. Good evening to Woody. First comment we've actually had on the Twitch stream. Normally the comments are flying through, but tonight a little bit on the slow side. Obviously, if you do have a comment to make, feel free on a Twitch. We are live across both Twitch and TikTok. And I have got the comments available for both of those as well. ARC Mickey 32-2, and he goes up to P7. Still not challenging with Warner. In fact, he's still 1 second adrift off the Williams, who looks absolutely rapid through qualifying so far. Here we go. The comments are going through. Good evening to Deck. Good evening to Merck. Inside information. Rain may make an appearance halfway through the race. Thank you to Woody. Yes, good evening to everybody, as ARC Mickey there going 7th fastest. Dutch Beast just starting a lap, and Angry Badger into turn 1 as well. Lottie just about to start a lap. Are these going to be the final lap starting now? We just want to get those yellow flags cleared. That is for the Kick Sauber in the final sector. I might have just run out of fuel there potentially, actually. That is Silky Stevens rather. And yeah, he has run out of fuel. So those yellow flags are going to remain on until Silky Stevens is able to get back into the pits. And even when he does that, I think he's going to be in a bit of trouble because he won't be able to get another lap in because there will be limited time available. You could just see how he's trying to use the overtake just to make himself a little bit quicker. But it's not going to play an impact in terms of getting another run in, unfortunately, for Silky Stevens. And he is back into the pits. Yeah, the flags are now back on because we got a Red Bull going slowly. So we can't actually check how long's left, but I can assure you it is not particularly long. Is it ARC Mickey? Yeah, Mickey is not out of fuel, actually. The fuel light is flashing, but it does not mean he's out of fuel. He's obviously just trying not to get into anybody's way, and now he looks like he's back underway. So we have got 2 minutes left. So, of course, it will be the final real chances to come through and start a lap. Let's see. Matt, I think Warner was tier 3 last season. Yeah. He's been flying. It's been some mad improvement from where he was. Yeah, definitely. Looking very quick here, Warner. And it's continuing to shine in tier 2. We're going to potentially move away from Viking. I want to have a look at drivers who are closer towards finishing their laps. Gandalf not being one of those. There is a Mercedes that might be Rotti, and it was Rotti just going P11 there. We were trying to get to him 32.9 for him. We've got an Aston Martin, potentially Dutch Beast, and he is improving, and it will be not an improvement. 33.4 still for Dutch Beast, but he did not really improve on that lap. There is an improvement further up though. Boy Knockout goes up to P3, a 31.8, and that may be his final lap here, and it will be because he's got the overtake on, but he's moving away from the McLaren, and that means Boy Knockout's qualifying is completed here, as is Silky Stevens, as is ARC Mickey. So a host of drivers not able to improve. Gandalf again going. Warner starting his lap behind him. We are going to have a flurry right at the end of qualifying. James Keller, he is also going, and Woody and Viking Fox also improving there. So Viking Fox up to P4. It's a 31.855 and just 0.003 of a second to Boy Knockout just ahead of him. Further down, so that will be the Red Bull. That will be James just starting his lap. And now we've got Destroyer Jack, I would like to say. Yes, it is Destroyer Jack starting as well. So a lot of drivers and quick drivers as well starting their laps near the end. You've got Epic Frenchie also coming across the line, starting his lap. He's in the top 6. He'll be happy with his performance so far and hoping to get a few more tenths out of his final run here. We'll just get towards the Mercedes, and so Rotti not improving. Has he got enough time? No, the checkered flags are now out here at the Circuit of the Americas. Therefore, Rotti into the pit and will not improve. Dutch Beast also not improving, only down in P14 for Dutch Beast, with Iceman 86 opting not to set a time in P20. DD Friend has invalidated. It's only going to be a top 9 as he almost goes into the pit wall, but he does cross the line. An interesting way to do it, but either way, it's done for him. What about Boy Knockout? No improvement. So we're going to move towards a potential pole sitter. Warner, he is on provisional pole. Can he hold provisional pole? Can he improve at the end? Warner, no improvement. Does remain with a 31.2. And it's going to be extremely difficult for anyone to beat that. Then what about the Kick Sauber? James Kidder not gaining. Epic Frenchie's done. Destroyer Jack massively improving by almost half a second through the middle sector. Can Destroyer Drac be the one to watch? Potentially Woody as well, if Woody's not the one with the yellow flags. But Destroyer Drac up to the line. What can he do? It's P5 for Destroyer Drac. And he is slotting in nicely. Woody gaining by 3/10 as well. Not as much of an improvement as Destroyer Drac showed, but may very well take that P9 away from DD Friend. Or can he get a little bit higher potentially? Woody out of turns 19 and 20. And across the line, it's a 32-2 just ahead of ARC Mickey. And he's into the top 8. And that will be qualifying completed. And it is a UFRL Tier 2 pole position for Warner. A 31-2-6-3 for him. A massive lap. And again, there will be rain, we've been told, in the race. Apparently halfway through. So let's see what happens there. But it is going to be a pole position for Warner. Fantastic lap. Having gone from like starting out in tier 3 and then all of a sudden getting up to tier 2. Still showing impressive pace. Yeah, very, very strong by Warner. And as you can see, the full qualifying classification, Warner 31-2 and Gandalf 2.5 tenths behind. Boy Knockout in P3. Very close after that. Viking Fox, Destroyer Drac, Silky Stevens all within about half a tenth. And you've got Epic Frenchie and Woody on the 4th row. 5th row, ARC Mickey alongside DD Friend. Then you've got James, Rotti, Angry Badger, Dutch Beast. And you've got James Kidder, Woody Fernandez, EM, Salty Stevens, Mr. Potwash, and Iceman 86 is at the back of the grid for the American Grand Prix. But yeah, certainly the best quality lap that you've done so far. I agree with that. What a promotion when, says Parkour. Well, I mean, still waiting on a certain promotion as well. So, you know, let's hold out on the Warner promotion shouts at the moment. I think it's fair to say. 31-2 in quali would do you well in tier 1. Probably would, yeah. I mean, I imagine that would be much quicker than what I can do. But then again, I've actually had a decent week in terms of racing, actually. I mean, coming to think of it, obviously China was pretty decent. Into tier Brazil worked out pretty well as well. So yeah, I can't complain at all about the week I've had in terms of racing. But yeah, in terms of the laps Warner just set, very strong. And can Warner go on to win this Grand Prix? What about Silky Stevens? Can he continue his fine form? Well, that's going to be the question. Warner promotion shout to doing one after one. I'm presuming you meant after doing one good quality lap. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, if you're doing one good quality lap is different. Like, if you can show that pace in the race as well, then you've got more of a shout. If Warner would have put away by like 5 seconds, you know, like some drivers can, then maybe. But if not, you know, I think just relax on that sort of thing, I'd say. Yeah, I didn't mean after. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, we've got a 5-minute break as per usual. I just want to double check. I'm not sure if it's been posted in there. That's not. I'll just pop it through now. So we'll go ready up at 20. We've had a minute or so by now. So 20:30. We'll go 20:30. So we'll go 4 minutes. So I am just going to go for a little pause and we'll be back in a couple of minutes time for this Texas Grand Prix. Right, and we are back. We will be getting started for this Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix. Mighty race, round 3, of course, in this 12 race calendar. Let's make sure we've got the TikTok comments back on as well. But yeah, of course, we are live across both Twitch and TikTok this evening, and the drivers have been told to ready up. And here you go, the 10-second countdown has begun. Here we go. This is Tier 2. This is UFRL. 5 red lights. And a pause. And it's go, go, go. Womana with a strong start at the front. Can Gandalf break it? No, he cannot. And they are going to be trying to go 3 wide further back. Silky Stevens has a look on the inside of Boy Knockout, but they get away cleanly at the front of the field. And most of the pack seem to have got a clean, relatively clean start, in fact. And it is Womana, Gandalf, Knockout, Silky and Viking in the top 5. Mickey making a move on Epic Frenchie, heading into the S's, and he's up the order into P8. James, Rotty, and oh, there's a spin. It's Rotty. Rotty and Didi have had some contact, and Rotty had another spin, and it's a bit of chaos further ahead. You've got the Aston Martin, you've got a Williams, you've got a V-Carb, you've got a Mercedes involved. That's Winnie Fernandez, that's contact as well with a Visa, and I don't know what the Aston Martin's doing there. That's Dutch Beast, and they're all sort of having a little bit of flurry of contact, but the action happening further down the back of the field. Woody now taking Destroyer Drag up into the top 6. Good start by the 2 Haas cars here. And the position change there. It is up 2 for Woody, down 1 for Viking, but they're up into the top 6 for the pair of them. And Woody taking Destroyer Draclair. So in terms of good gains, it is EM gaining 6 spots from the start. So he's had a strongest start, in fact, of anybody on the grid. Salty and Potwash gaining 4 spots apiece. Badger, Rotty and Beast big losers, as is DD Friend. And you've also got Drac and Frenchie losing 2. Viking dropping the place, but Womana, Gandalf and Knockout all hanging on to their spots on that podium for the start. But Silky Stevens also making an impressive getaway in the top 4 after back-to-back podiums for the Kick Sauber. And can he make a move on Boy Knockout, starting on the hard tyre as well? Let's get the tyre situation for you. Majority of drivers on the hard tyres. Only Womana, Woody, Epic Frenchie and DD Friend have opted for the mediums. And Womana really is looking very quick on those medium tyres, I've got to say. I mean, they are mediums, so you'd kind of expect him to be quick at this stage, but he is looking absolutely rapid here at COTA. We've not seen this pace from Womana across, well, seasons 8 or 9. This is his best race so far. It's only been 1.5 laps, so let's relax ourselves. But Womana is looking incredibly quick here at Texas, and I've got to say, keep it up in terms of what Williams are thinking. Womana is looking incredibly quick around the Circuit of the Americas, and Boy Knockout now is taking charge of Gandalf and up into the top 2. So Knockout deciding he needs to be the leader of this pack to catch Womana. Well, further adrift, EM ahead of James, and James Kenner also ahead of DD Fred. Those two going side by side. You've got Salty Stevens, who'll be a bit disappointed to be behind this battle. But he's going to go for the switchback. There's a double switchback because the Kick Sauber spins. And Salty with the double. Up in the double. And up into the top 12 goes Salty Stevens. And James Kenner now has dropped and fallen to the back of the field behind Iceman. But he's trying to get back through on the Aston Martin, but unable to deliver the move. But a good move there by Salty Stevens to place his car into the top 12. I guess right place, right time in terms of a spin if you're Salty Stevens. Silky Stevens, though, on the rear of Gandalf. Not for much longer because he's having a look on the inside of Gandalf, trying to go side by side, but actually just not gain the position and just losing out there. But Gandalf seems to have been a little bit sluggish at the start of this Grand Prix. He has lost the pack. In terms of losing, Boy Knockout is over 1 second behind here. Destroyer Jack, meanwhile, makes a move on Epic Frenchie through the S's and is up into 8th place as he's trying to make inroads on the top 7 ahead of him. Back towards Silky Stevens we'll go as we head into the middle sector. Let's just have a look then what Silky Stevens can do out of turn 11 into turn 12. James Eam having a battle with EM, and Silky Stevens here does take Gandalf. Is now up into the podium places. Can he get another podium for the Kick Sauber? He's having a magnificent season so far, as arriving a bit late onto the stage there was Gandalf. Not quite making contact, fortunately, as Destroyer Drac having a battle of his own with Epic Frenchie. Is it an epic battle between the pairing? It looks like it, because Frenchie does make a move on the inside, and in comes James Eam. James does make contact with Drac. That's pretty much going to be a racing incident there. EM also makes his way through on James, and therefore James loses out the place. A little bit ambitious from the Red Bull to be making a move, and sadly, he loses out to the Alpine and the Ferrari at the same time. But yeah, good start though for these drivers. But yeah, looking at Warner is having a very strong Grand Prix so far. Incredible pace from him. But let's just keep on. We're going to move up the field because Gandalf and Viking Fox now going side by side into the S's. Who's going to take charge of this battle? Still going at it. It's just about Viking Fox now overtaking Gandalf. And Gandalf, I've got to say, he has had a sluggish start. Is he preparing for the rain? Is that what he's got? Has he got a wet setup on? And have other drivers got dry setups on? That's going to be a question as well. You've got to factor that in. How many drivers have got a semi-wet setup on, and how many have just gone for a fully dry setup? That could severely impact things as well. Let's have a look here. Woody going to get the move on Gandalf. And he's going to go down the inside on the Alpine. Side by side, they'll scrap it into turn 12. It looks like Gandalf has held a place around the outside. Actually goes off track. So he will lose out to Woody as a result. Woody into the top 5. Both Haas into the top 5. And Gandalf continues to drop down the order. It very much reminds me of Gandalf when we were racing here at Texas a couple of seasons ago in season 7, I believe it was, in the rain, and he just kept losing place after place, lap after lap, and it's certainly looking very similar for Gandalf here this evening. Sadly, this is not his best track. I say that, he did actually perform well. I can't remember where he finished last season, but he did have a stronger race, but that was fully dry. It seems like in the interchangeable conditions, or when it's rain at all, Gandalf does seem to have a struggle here at COTA in particular. Further down, there's a battle going on between Potwash and DD Friend. Potwash getting ahead, and you've got the Ferrari just having a little bit of a twitch there. Angry Badger, William in behind this as well, but DD Friend is certainly in there. Let's just check on with James Eam, still behind EM and Destroyer Drac and also Epic Frenchie. This is a battle covering up to P8, down to P12. James Eam doing very well to be in this battle, and now he's going to get a move on EM down on the inside line. Does he get the place? I think he has done. Now, is he going to get a DRS? No, he won't. That's the bad thing. Salty Stevens going for a move. Yellow flags. The Aston Martin of Beast. But Salty Stevens dives in and makes a move on EM. And surely going to get a double as well, because it's going to take James Eam. But EM charges through as well. He's going for not just one. He's going for two. A bit of contact down the straight. And it's EM down the inside on Salty. But he goes too deep. Salty goes through. And James goes through as well. EM with a big error. Braking too late. And loses both places that he tried so hard to gain. Epic Frenchie also through on Destroyer Drac. Up into P8 goes to McLaren. But they are battling side by side. Tooth and nail. Who has got the place? It looks like it's Drac. Can Frenchie fight it back? No, he cannot. And the Alpine up into the top 8. Let's go back up the field towards Gandalf now. On the rear of the two Haas. An excellent start to this Grand Prix for a host of drivers. A lot of battling occurring, as you'd expect, at a fantastic track like the Circuit of the Americas. Battling also incurring further down. We're just going to drop back. Potwash with DD Friend. Down the inside goes Mr. Potwash. DD holding the outside line. And he's just a little bit wide of the mark. And Potwash will get through as a result. And DD just has to drop in behind. A bit of battling also between Rotti and Angry Badger. I think Rotti has just taken the Ferrari as well. And that is a big move for the Mercedes potentially. They're up to P15 and P16. Not really where you want to be saying where Mercedes are in terms of if you're a Mercedes team driver. But that is where they are. Top 16 for the pair of them. Again, not really what they want to be doing, but William having a look on the inside of DD Friend, Looks like he is just trying to push his way through now. Both Mercedes potentially getting frustrated at their positions on the field. William not quite passing DD Friend. Yellow flags for Dutch Beast once again. Destroyer Jack on the rear of Epic Frenchie. Not quite working out for him. DD Friend, William and Potwash all going at it. And William's got through on 1 and 2. Has he held it? Rotty also in there. What can they do? William losing the place to DD, but he has got the place on the V-carb, as has Rotty. And Potwash and Badger losing out in the end there. So now P14 and P15. And then they've got DD Friend just ahead of them. Let's go further up the field towards Woody again. Warren are now just starting to be balanced on that pace. Silky Stevens and Boy Knockout are together, and they are within 2.5 seconds, and they're starting to make a little bit of gains on Warner at the front of the field. So we will try to keep us posted on that as well. As our Salty Stevens and behind Epic Frenchie. About 0.2 of a second the gap, as Angry Badger now has lost the 1 second window. He's actually made a mistake, so Angry Badger has fallen back towards James Killer and Iceman 86 as well. Iceman 86, the reigning Tier 3 champion, so the step up for him has been a challenge as James Killer and Iceman overtake Badger. It looks like Badger is struggling. Potwash has been disconnected as well, so Potwash therefore will need an invite. The two former Ferrari teammates, Potwash and Angry Badger there. ARC Mickey, meanwhile, overtaking Gandalf, and you expect Salty, maybe not, okay. Well, Salty Stevens decides he's not going to go for the overtake. Oh, now he's going down the inside on Epic Frenchie, potentially trying to surprise the McLaren there, as Badger picks up a penalty. And there you go, Salty Stevens has got the move done, has he? Yes, he has. And now ahead of Frenchie and into P9 behind Destroyer Jack. Meanwhile, Mickey, Gandalf and Woody all together behind behind Viking Fox rather, in the top 4. Yeah, Silky Stevens and Boy Knockout gaining so much time. They are within 1.4 seconds of Warner. So they are going to be with Warner potentially on this lap. And it will make it a 3-way battle for the lead of the Grand Prix. Don't know why I had the stops on for. Nobody had made a pit stop. That's a bit silly. Mediums will start to struggle soon, I reckon. Well, yep, now was the point, I think. Because 1.3 seconds the gap. Can they get within a second through the S's? Maybe not. Still 1.4. Warner just about has enough grip through the S's here. As you can see, Warner sticks on it at 1.3 now. So he's still got enough of a gap. But for how much longer can he stay clear? This might be great for Boy Knockout, because he's actually going to get a move on Silky here, and then he's going to be within a second of Warner, I think. He's got to go for the place, though. Look how much battery he's got, and he's not even burning it. Little bit surprised. I thought he would have tried to get a move and then get within a second of Warner, but maybe. Because then he could have been P2 rather than P3, but either way, Boy Knockout decides not to burn his battery there. He had a full load of battery as well, so I was a little bit surprised he did not burn it. James Eam, meanwhile, overtaking Frenchie and up into the top 10. DD Friend also having a battle with Rotty side by side. Willie Fernandez will be watching this one, but it looks like Rotty has just edged his car through, and into P13 goes Rotty. Let's go further up the field. Might go towards the leaders. We haven't really been on with the leaders so much in this Grand Prix so far. But you know what? They are all within a second now. Warner, Silky Stevens and Boy Knockout. As we make the approach into turn 1. And Silky has a little gentle look on the inside. Bit surprised he had a look, to be honest. It was never going to work for him. But he is just in P2. Tyres. Well, the tyres are on for you now. Gandalf got his first win on this track last season. That was it. Surely he has a semi-wet setup. You'd presume so, but the issue is, in Season 7 he really did struggle here. I remember when it was raining as well. It was raining at this very circuit, and he did struggle a lot in the race. And he was just dropping places like every lap. I remember that race. But yeah, it was last season. I couldn't remember where he finished. I just know he did do well. But it was fully dry last season as well. DD Friend and Rotty seem to be having a bit of a battle, to the point where Rotty has now picked up a time penalty. And here comes Willie Fernandez as well. It looks like Williams just had to drop back. And what about this? Silky Stevens has taken the lead now away from Warrener and up into P1. So the Kick Sauber, the hard tyres potentially, are the better tyre right now. I don't know if somebody's able to on a TikTok. If somebody could just pop the link in to the league on the TikTok, that would be absolutely grand. I mean, I can do it myself, but obviously it would mean that I wouldn't be able to do the comms at the same time. So it would be ideal if somebody could just pop the link in to the TikTok. Somebody has just asked for it, that's why. Silky Stevens, Warrener, Boy Knockout still in that top 3, looking good as well. But how long can Warrener stick with the 2 hard tyre runners here? He was probably thinking, oh, this is an easy race, and looking all comfortable, and all of a sudden, you've got Silky and Boy Knockout with you, and now he's going to be extremely disappointed that those medium tyres could not last any longer. But let's see, still all within about 7/10 of each other, so yeah, Silky Stevens not really gaining any time through the S's. It looks like Warrener was able to just hang it out there with these 2 drivers so far, but Boy Knockout is getting closer to Warrener, just under 0.3 of a second behind. What about the exit out of turn 11? And you know what? They might both be able to get a pass here. Boy Knockout may even be trying to get the lead of the Grand Prix. He's certainly going to be going for P2 from Warrener, and he is going to take P2 from Warrener. Warrener, knowing his tyres are not quite there, but he's going to try and battle around the outside. But Knockout gets through and is up into P2. So those hard tyres for Silky and Boy Knockout clearly are the favourable tyre. Destroyer Jack making a move on Salty Stevens. Yellow flags through the final sector, heading into sector 1 as well. So we are on with Salty Stevens. And a battle further back, DD Friend on Rotty again. And DD Friend up into P13. The 2 Mercedes have really struggled here this evening. I've got to say, unfortunately, they're down in P14 and P15. Just so far away from what you'd expect from a team led by the team principal, Willie Fernandez. And this season seems to be a real struggle at this moment in time for them. This Rotty makes a move on DD Friend and up into P13, but DD has a little look. And is he going to try and battle this side by side? Rotty and DD Friend through at turn 19, an unconventional corner to go side by side in. DD still trying to hang out. Don't forget he's on mediums, and Rotty potentially just running him slightly off track there. But Rotty's got himself through, and what's that? A pit stop for DD, Epic Frenchie rather. ARC Mickey with a significant 3-second time penalty. William makes the double, and Williams makes a move on Rotty and DD Friend now. Can he hold it? Rotty still going side by side with DD for an incredible battling between the pairing here. William will try and clear it, but Rotty is able to get his way through on DD, but does pick up a 3-second time penalty in the process. We'll just move away from that little battle. Have a look at the front again, as Boy Knockout has a look on the outside of Silky and ARC Mickey, charging through on Viking Fox now, and up into P4 goes the Red Bull. The good news for Gandalf, he's not dropping any more places. He is still in P6, but he has not dropped any places for a number of laps now. Destroyer Jack making a move on Salty Stevens, and up into P7, Woody also there on the medium tyres. Don't forget the rain will arrive as well. The rain has not yet hit us. We're waiting to see when the drops appear on a screen or even on the halo of the car. Not yet arriving, it seems. With that in mind, let's head back. Warrener now struggling. He's over a second behind, so he's lost out on the DRS. So that's really unfortunate news for him. Can he get back within a second before this rain hits? It does not look like it's going to be very long. How much longer will it take? I think that's what the medium tyre runners are waiting for. It's a safety car. The safety car is out, and we have got a pit stop for DD Friend. Right, who's got a safety car? And it looks like it might be Dutch Beast. Dutch Beast has lost his whole wing, and there's a what's that? A Visa RB. That's not Boy Knockout. No, it's not. That would have been Mr. Potwash. Mr. Potwash taking an interesting way into the pits there. Dutch Beast retiring from the Grand Prix as well. Got a few drivers seem to be lapped, which I'm just going to double check actually. Is it raining now? Yes, it is. It's raining. The rain has occurred. Here we go. And it may just be raining until the very end. And with that in mind, it could be intermediates for every single driver now. And that may have just pretty much said to every driver, that's your strategy. It's going to have to be mediums for every single driver, you feel. And don't forget, we've still got the rule where you have to try and let these lapped cars through if you can. We have got nobody. Ignore the rule because we don't have anybody who's lapped, which is good news, luckily. But yeah, let's go back, Glenn. Just stick with our tyres because we want to check if everyone is going to go for the inters. Judy Fed and Potwash have gone for softs. Get a feeling that they're probably going to go for inters, right? That's ruined it for everyone, says Parkour. Still rain to come, says Deck. Well, the rain has hit us now, and Box stay out, says Merc. Well, obviously, everybody is going to pit to go onto the intermediate tyres due to the weather conditions. And there you go. Oh, Warner, what's happened here? Warner's on hards. Warner's on hard tyres. And is he... Are his tier 3 route straight back to the Williams here? Has he got a parkour strategy on the cars like Bahrain? It might be even worse than that. Warren's gone for hard tyre. This is literally the worst tyre you can go for in these conditions. I mean, it's already ready for the intermediates. Warren has got hard tyres on. He's going to have to pit again for intermediates. And you bet he's going to drop down. Possibly even to last. Maybe he just avoids it. But he is going to drop down so much. And Warner, from what was a potential podium, maybe a battle for a win, he's in a lot of trouble here. Speaking of trouble, ARC Mickey and Destroyer Jack stay out on their old hards. Again, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know why. For me, it looks pretty clear cut to be intermediate, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I'm going to presume he just made a mistake, that he was meant to go inters. He probably just didn't confirm it to his engineer. And sadly, as a result of that, well, it's given him the hard tyres. Obviously, that's going to be a massive frustration for the Williams driver. And the Williams team, you imagine. Obviously, Pesci won't be watching at the moment. He might watch back. He will most likely hear about the situation, though, later on. Why didn't Mickey pit? I don't know. Don't ask me. Ask Mickey. And you probably want to say the same thing. Why didn't Jack pit as well? But obviously, I know you're part of the Red Bull team, so yeah. But Mickey and Jack both opting not to pit for inters, which, yeah, baffles me. Let's just say it baffles me. They're surely going to pit now. Like, look at the weather. It's clearly ready for the inters. You're going to see both pit. You've got to, they're both pitting. They're both not pitting. ARC Mickey's staying out. Mickey is staying out on the 13 lap old hard tyres. It's bone dry out there. ARC Mickey's got a different game screen to all of us. It's actually bone dry on his track. Everybody else has intermediate conditions. That's the problem. So there's a glitch in the system, and ARC Mickey has got a fully dry track. That's why he has stayed out on the old hard tyres. Smart strategy really from Mickey. He's got a different game screen. It is incredibly smart. I mean, what a strat. What a strat. You could tell he's been discussing strategies with Parkour, can't you? Oh my, ARC Mickey, what is this? Because even if there's a safety car, what's he going to do? He's going to pit for inters and still come out like P15, right? Like if there's another safety car, I mean. Because the safety car will be in this lap. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what Mickey's just done. It's not like he's been an AI, because the AI would have pitted him for intermediates. I wonder, will DRS get re-enabled? I don't think it will. With the conditions like this, I'm pretty sure it will just be inters now to the end without DRS anyway. But yeah, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what ARC Mickey's done here. I mean, you can see how badly it has impacted like Drac P15 and Warner P16. Like, compared to where they were. Particularly Warner. Warner was doing incredibly well. All of a sudden, he's down to P16. and he was literally on the podium. He was even leading the race by, what, 2.5 seconds or so? 3 seconds, and now look at him. I mean, Mickey, I have no idea what ARC Mickey's done here. Absolutely no idea what has happened to Mickey. Well, I can remove the tyre situation, because, yeah, we don't really need it. Let's go maybe to the penalties. Everybody knows Mickey's on inters. No, he's not. Sorry, I lied. He's on old hards. And the rest of the drivers are all on, you guessed it, intermediates. Red Bull have hired the Ferrari strategies. Yes, they have. It was a good signing as well. World record, I heard. Right, let's see. I mean, Mickey, don't tell me he's pitting. He's pitting. He's pitting. ARC Mickey is pitting. The safety car's gone in. He's pitting. Silky Stevens, therefore, inherits the lead. I mean, I don't know what I'm thinking about that. Boy, knockout, can he take over the race lead? What about ARC Mickey? No, of course he can't. Viking Fox, however, in P3. We're going to get away from the gap to leader, back to the interval, and ARC Mickey is going to be a postcode. He might even be heading to like Brazil or something. I don't know what you've got for Tier 2 next week, but he's probably heading to that track already, so he's making an early visit. But Silky Stevens leads ahead of Boy Knockout. It's getting closer, just 0.2 of a second. I mean, what? Gonna be honest with you, I can't. I would love to be in like the Red Bull discussion just to see what on earth is going to happen with this discussion with ARC Mickey. Like, what on earth is happening? Meanwhile, we're going to go towards the Destroyer Track, having a little ding-dong battle with Epic Frenchie. They have been battling a lot this race. It's getting close. Frenchie, squirmy and so close to spinning. But I think Drac, has he got the move on the outside line? I think he has done. Still side by side. He has not got the move. They are still side by side. We're going to go on board with your former podium sitter, former race leader, now P15 driver, Warrener. But as you can see, Destroyer Jack has got the move around the outside on Epic Frenchie. He's up into P13. EM69, though, having a battle also with James Eam. Tier 3 Red Bull versus Tier 2 Ferrari. And EM just ahead in P7. Now, Epic Frenchie re-overtaking Drac. But he's gone in deep and too deep. And he is also losing out to Warrener. And Warrener's up into P14. Is he or not? Still side by side. And it looks like surely Warrener on the outside line is going to get through here. Surely he's going to get through here. Yes, he does get through here. And Warrener is up into an incredible P14. But diving down the inside there, Epic Frenchie just not quite able to hang it out there. So Warrener does make a position, and as does Destroyer Drac. Let's head back up the field towards Woody. A 3-second penalty, but directly behind Salty Stevens and also Gandalf. But it looks like Silky Stevens and Boy Knockout do look like they've got strong pace here. But Woody also looking good, right behind Salty Stevens, who seems to be making a couple of big errors, or minor errors, should I say, through the S's to allow Woody to give himself a chance. James Kidder also making his way through on Rotty, and up into the top 10 goes the Kick Sauber. Back up towards Woody will go. But Silky Stevens has a gap of over 1 second, and Silky Stevens all of a sudden is charging for back-to-back victories. That has not been done in Tier 2. Was that done last season? I imagine Flynn might have done it. If not Flynn, possibly Parkour. I know Parkour won 3 and 6, so yeah. Woody though down the inside. Oh my gosh, Woody almost breaking into Gandalf there, almost breaking the car, but he does avoid Salty Stevens as well. Does return to P6 in all fairness, but that was very close to Gandalf and Salty Stevens. Drop back towards Badger and DD Friend, and DD Friend making a move on Badger, and up into P16 he goes. Back on towards Woody. Go on, Silky, says Deck. Well, yes, he's doing well as Woody now is having a battle and makes a move on Salty as well. It's a great move from Woody, and he's up into the top 5, albeit with a time penalty, but he finally gets through on a Williams. He's been breaking away at that overtake, and he's finally got it done, and now we could charge closer towards the Alpine of Gandalf. This could be Woody's best race in Tier 2 since he's joined, actually. And can he even charge towards a possible podium. He's got to avoid an error. If he doesn't make an error, a podium could genuinely be on the cards here. He's got a penalty, yes, but he looks like he's got some decent pace around here as well. It's just dropped further back towards Badger and DD Friend once again, and also Mr. Potwash involved. ARC Mickey, meanwhile, let's have a look at the tyre situation. He's gone on to pit again for a set of the intermediates. Please tell me you did pit for intermediates in the first case. Please tell me you did. Warner, meanwhile, he's closing in. I think he's going to have a look on the inside here on Destroyer Jack. He is going to go for it down the inside into turn 11. Side by side, they scrap it out. And it looks like Warner has got the advantage. He does take the place. Up into P13 goes to Williams. And next up for him will be Iceman 86. And it looks like a relatively easy move down the straight. So Warner now up into the top 12, making a few gains. After, let's just say, a few losses after the safety car and the rain. Destroyer Jack also down the inside, now around the outside on Iceman 86. And I think he's got the move done. Yes, he has. And up into P13 goes Destroyer Jack. Iceman under a bit of pressure now from Epic Frenchie as well. And the McLaren also going down the inside. But the Aston trying to fight it back here. But it looks like Epic Frenchie surely going to make the move here down the outside there. And onto the curb goes Iceman. So Epic Frenchie is up into P14. Back up towards Woody. Within half a second now of Gandalf, so continuing to charge forward. But look at Silky Stevens. He is looking mighty impressive here at 2.6 clear. What happened, James? Just as we see in the chat, let's go Red Bulls. Let's not go Red Bulls. James is pitting for full wets. Is it full wets? I wouldn't have imagined it was full wets, but that's what he's gone for. He's the first driver to do it. There you go, first driver on the full wet. It's James Eam in the Red Bull. Red Bull are not doing too well. P18 for James, P18 for P19 for ARC Mickey. And they've got a lot to do here. Lottie, meanwhile, overtaking Warner, or trying to defend actually, because Warner's been on a charge. He wants to charge through again, and there's a pit retirement. Eam's out. It's a virtual safety car. It's a virtual safety car. You've got to slow down, guys. Slow down, slow down, slow your cars down. And it is a virtual safety car. We have lost a Ferrari. We have lost EM from the Grand Prix. It's a full course safety car. The full safety car is out. And Silky Stevens' 3-second advantage has faded away here at Texas. And now what do you do? Because obviously James just pitted for full wets. Is it full wets? Is it still winters? Is the rain going to get heavier? There's a lot for the drivers to decide upon now. And Silky Stevens, what does he do? Does he pit again, or does he stay out on these inters? That will be an ultimate question for the Kick Sauber driver. And Silky Stevens decides to stay out. Boy Knockout stays out. Will anybody bite the bullet? Viking thinking about it. Gandalf thinking about it. Woody thinking and going for it. Salty Stevens stays out. James Eam, it goes from bad to worst for Red Bull. And James Eam has got a drive-through penalty. James Kidder, meanwhile, stayed out. Destroyer Jack pits. Warner is also pitting. I know he's not. I lied. Warner is not pitting. He's staying out. Frenchie pits. Badger is staying out as well. Badger will go up a few places as a result. And Woody's gone for the full wet tyres. So 2 drivers have gone for full wet. So you've got Woody in P11. And you've got James Eam, who has also got a drive-through penalty in P17. Got to say, Cowley, that was the worst timed Let's Go Red Bulls ever, I think. That's the worst, thing to say since the Red Bull team were trying to tell their drivers to pit. ARC Mickey, of course. Oh wait, that only happened today. Oh, hang on. What am I talking about? The Red Bull... Oh, it's just Red Bull, isn't it? Crikey. What is going on at Red Bull this evening? First parkour, getting Mickey to pit, and Mickey stayed out, and then pitted when the safety car went in. Oh yeah, should we check what happened with ARC Mickey then? What tyre did he go for? Mickey, he went for the mediums. Boom! What a strat there. ARC Mickey, He went from the halves to the mediums to the inters. You know when he pitted under that safety car the last lap, when the safety car got back into the pits, ARC Mickey pitted for medium tyres.
Tom, do you know what that was? That was a smooth operator.
Gotta say, I don't think it was particularly smooth for ARC Mickey, that's for sure.
Carlos, check the radio. We seem to have picked up some dodgy music channel again.
So ARC Mickey pitted for medium tyres when it was pouring down with rain at the end of that safety car.
I am stupid. I am stupid.
Now that's probably the right one, Parkour. Yeah, that's painful though, isn't it? Can you show pit stops, please? I can. That's not really that much to show. The most fascinating pit stops were probably ARC Mickey going for the mediums as well. From Jamie. But yeah. So that's the tyre situation. As you can see, just two drivers. You've got Woody and James Eam on the full wets. But James Eam has to serve a drive-through penalty. So do factor that into the equation as well. This might be the last lap under the safety car. You know what? This is what I don't understand this. ARC Mickey should have pitted there. He should have pitted there and got fresh tyres on. I don't understand why he's staying out. He should have gone for fresh inters here. At the end of the day, it was going to be, you're either going to be last with 4-lap-old inters or last with fresh inters. Tell me in the chat, would you rather have 4-lap-old inters or fresh inters and still be in the same place? Like, come on, everyone's gonna say you'd rather have the 4-lap-old inters. But yeah, like literally everyone knows if you're last and nobody else is pitting, you might as well pit in this scenario as well. Like, come on, you've got to, yeah, it's a new Parkour, but to be fair, Red Bull probably would, you know, it makes sense after the strategies we've seen from Red Bull. Not their tier 3 drivers, by the way. Their tier 3 drivers have shown some class last week in Canada, for example. But let's say the tier 2 drivers can make some questionable decisions, eh? Don't forget, Mickey's my former teammate as well. Me and him got a 1-2 in season 3. Yeah, season 3 for Ferrari. Yeah, Ferrari getting a 1-2. Incredible, isn't it? I'm not lying. 1-2. I don't mean like in a race. I mean in a championship. Like, that's mental, right? 2 teammates getting a 1 and 2. We actually worked well together. I think you need to start questioning the strategist at Red Bull. What, Parkour? Yeah, I'll question Parkour. Absolutely. It's just tier 2. Even tier 2 made a tier 3 bottle it today. Oh, what's happening here? Wovana and Angry Badger. Okay, Badger's ahead. Is he? Maybe not. Ooh. I don't know if anybody saw. Did Wovana overtake Badger under the safety car? Not certain if he did. I might just clip it just in case. I'm not certain if he did. It might have just been what Badger actually got past Wovana, but I want to clip it anyway. Meanwhile, we are going to be back underway. Awfully timed to Charlie's. We're going to get underway, and here we go. It is a sprint to the end. Silky Stevens, 3/10 of point knockout. What can knockout do here? Still in behind and not going for the overtake. But we're all waiting on those fresh tyre runners. Woody is the leader of that pack on those inters, but he does, a full wets rather, but he does have a penalty. Then it's Drac on the fresh inters. Mr. Potwash overtaking Iceman, but Iceman gets back through, does he? Going side by side. Oh, there's a McLaren. There's a McLaren entering. That's DD friend. That's Iceman. That's Potwash. And Mickey is up into the top 15 now. Well, at least the Red Bull can have something to be happy with. Let's go up the field towards Woody Fernandez. Is closing in on James Kidder. The kick Sauber up into the top 6. The 2 Mercedes out of nowhere are into the top 8 here. That's Rotti looking for a move down the inside on Woody Fernandez. Does not go for it. Woody overtaking Badger. His full wets coming to life here. And into the top 10 goes Woody. What about Destroyer Jack? Has he got a chance too? Here comes the Alpine. Here comes Jack against the Ferrari. But will the prancing horse strike back No, he won't. It doesn't look like it. Willie Fernandez gets through on Rossi again, just defending that place. They are going side by side, it seems. But Drac is ahead of Angry Badger and into P11. Oh, I was right there. The Mercedes were battling. Warner, though, is ahead of Willie Fernandez, and up into P8 goes Warner. But still trying to battle here, William. A little bit of a push wide there by Warner. Nothing too severe, it seems, as Epic Frenchie also makes his way through on Badger. And James and Mickey are going at it. James just has to let Mickey through, surely. And indeed he does. ARC Mickey up into P14. Back up towards Drac we go. And towards Woody and William. A lot of battles through the midfield. They are not miles behind the leaders here on those fresh tyres, don't forget. If they can start making some real moves, they've got chances of podiums here. Oh, James Eom is serving his drive-through penalty. So, sadly, it's not going to be a great result for him unless we get maybe another safety car. But yes, good evening to Tajani. Apologies, I should have said that earlier. Good evening, Tajani. Apologies, sounds rude. I wasn't meant to sound rude. My apologies on that one. But Destroyer Drac here really trying to make a charge through on everything. Woody just ahead, but Warner now does get past Rotti. He is starting to make gains here. Up into P7 after that awful decision. And I have to say, it was quite frankly a poor decision by Warner in the first place. Well, I say decision, it was probably a mistake where he didn't quite lock in those intermediate tyres, but obviously now he is gaining places and move down the inside by Destroyer Drac, having a look on Woody. Is it full wet? Is it inters? Well, Destroyer Drac's having a move on Woody now, and it looks like it may still be the intermediate conditions. Going down the straight, but the issue is Woody looks maybe like he might just be blocked in here. He's having a look. Round the outside goes Woody on Destroyer Drac. Drac holds it in there on the outside line now, Drac. He's also got the Mercedes of William just ahead of Rotti. And they're all still squabbling. Woody's lost out. Drac on the outside of Rotti. Can Drac make it through? He's going to have the inside line. Does he go for the move? Yes, he does. It's Drac. It's Rotti. And it looks like a bit of a push potentially. Or did Rotti just go a bit too narrow? And it looks like the move is done. Rotti trying to defend here from Epic Frenchie and from Woody. Here comes Frenchie. Frenchie on Woody. Going side by side. Frenchie's got the move and Frenchie's into P11. But Drac now is all over Willie Fernandez for P8 here. And Woody also losing out to ARC Mickey. Those two are really battling here. Going side by side, and it looks like Woody is just able to defend from the Red Bull. Further back though, Rotti and Frenchie and Drac and William. And Drac now is up into the top 8. He bypasses the Mercedes. Frenchie is through, or is he? Because Rotti strikes back, and he does. Off goes Frenchie, and almost colliding into Woody as well. Woody narrowly avoiding the McLaren there. The Epic Frenchie losing out, and it really is starting to pour down here. Silky Stevens and Boy Knockout separated by barely 2.5 tenths of a second. It's super close at the front as well, but all the battling is occurring through the midfield. And we're going to go towards Destroyer Drac. He's going down the inside on the kick Sauber. This is for P7. Don't forget, he's got fresher tyres than anybody in the top 10. And Drac is into P7 now. 3.5 seconds, the gap to Warner ahead of him. But James Killer, well, James Killer's going for the move. Around the outside, is he going to surprise Drac? No, he's not, because Drac can break later, and Drac can hold a position as well. So Drac stays in P7. Rotti, meanwhile, further back, having a battle with Frenchie, trying to stick in the top 10. Frenchie wants to take a place into the top 10. Can he do so? He's got the inside line, and they're still battling here. Awful view, but Rotti and Epic Frenchie, and Rotti is just about ahead, and Rotti stays in the top 10. So he's just able to hold it there. Destroyer Drac still gaining a bit of time. Oh, wide line there by the Mercedes as well of Rotti. We've got ARC Mickey trying to have a battle here with Woody. Woody, oh Woody. Yes, he would. He would almost have a half spin there, Woody, but losing out in the end to ARC Mickey. Oh, what's that? Was he pushed off by Badger possibly? Maybe a bit of contact between Badger and Woody. Tough to really see. Wasn't exactly clear cut, but Badger now ahead of Woody, and he's having a look on Mr. Potwash as well. Still going side by side. Silky Stevens and Boy Knockout still 1 and 2. Knockout not able to get through on the kick Sauber for the lead of the Grand Prix. Badger though battling here with Woody. The full wet tyres not working in favour of Woody here. It's just not quite there for the full wets, the intermediates. I mean, they don't have bad pace, but it's not ready for full wets just yet. It just still seems to be intermediate conditions. As our Angry Badger picks up a 3-second penalty, and Woody decides to join him with a 3-second time penalty. Let's go further up the field towards William. Destroyer Jack losing a lot of time. It's 5 seconds adrift now. And he's not going to be catching up. He's made a mistake somewhere down the line, and he's 5 seconds behind. And that's pretty much game over for Jack if he wants a podium here. Just having a look at Warrener all over the rear of Gandalf to get up to the top 5 after Warrener's disappointing strategy earlier, where it must have been an error. But can he recover and get a podium out of all of this? We have got 4.5 laps of racing to go, and down the inside goes Warrener, having a fight here with Gandalf. Can he get the move? No, he can't. And Gandalf will defend it well, but Warrener will still have opportunities to get the move done. Let's go back to the penalty situation then. 3 seconds, 6 seconds, and 9 seconds in there for Rotti, meaning he will effectively potentially drop even behind the likes of Woody as well. Warrener, meanwhile, on the inside of Gandalf, and he does make his way up into the top 5, unless Gandalf can fight it, unable to do so. And that is a position gained by the Williams, and it is looking like a double top 5 for Salty Stevens and for Warrener. Epic Frenchie, meanwhile, having a move on Rotti, and Rotti receives a 3-second time penalty. So there you go. Let's go back up the field towards Viking Fox, and half a second to Salty is the gap. And can he now go through Viking? Probably seeing that Warrener's on the charge as well. He really does want to make some moves. Just not quite there to take Salty Stevens. Would Salty fight hard with Warrener or not? That'll be the other question. But Viking Fox here closing. And what about Boy Knockout also making inroads on Silky? Again, just not able to make the move on him. We'll go back towards Viking. Woody overtakes Angry Badger. That's for P14. And Rotti and Mickey going at it for P11 as well. Rotti just defending him for now. Let's drop back towards William as well, behind James Killer, Frenchie and Mickey now. Having a look on Rotti. Around the outside goes the Red Bull, here's the Mercedes. Of course, 2 former championship battling teams in the real world. But it is the Red Bull overtaking the Mercedes on this occasion. And that is Mickey through on Rotti. It doesn't look like Rotti's able to defend it. Meanwhile, Warrener still gaining some time towards Viking and Salty. I say that, he has just lost a couple of tenths of a second. Epic Frenchie, meanwhile, gaining time on Woody Fernandez. And William all over James Killer. This must be killing William at the moment. But he does not have a penalty. James Killer does. So he will still be taking him as things stands, of course. I mean, while Destroyer Drac, I'm just seeing. Let's have a look here. Destroyer Drac is almost within a second of his own teammate Gandalf. That is going to be intriguing. What will Destroyer Drac do there? Oh, where's Viking Fox? Salty was a little bit wide, it seemed. And that has compromised his exit. But now Viking has had a compromised exit. And here comes Warrener. Here comes Warrener. He's on the inside. Warrener is super close. He has to back out of it, though. And that will lose him time to Gandalf and Destroyer Drac as well. This is going to be a ferocious battle for the final spot on the podium. Salty, Viking, Warrener, Gandalf and Destroyer Drac. So we head back to the rear towards Woody Fernandez and James Killer. William with a full battery and going to go for the overtake. Destroyer Drac though, ahead of Gandalf. Team games at play here at the Alpine, and also Warrener side by side with Viking Fox. Side by side they go. Warrener on the inside, Viking on the outside. Warrener is through, and into the top 4 goes the Williams, but a bit slippery on exit. Viking charges again. Viking on the outside, Warrener on the inside, still side by side. Has Warrener finally got it? Yes, he has. Warrener into 4th place now, and the 2 Williams will be scrapping potentially over the final spot on the podium. I wonder if Pesci's thinking, if he, I mean, I don't imagine he's watching right now, if he does watch it later, he will not want a collision between his two drivers. Speaking of collision, well, Vikings going back at it down the inside of Woviner. This could enable for Destroyer Jack to get involved. Jack gets involved round the outside. He swoops in on Viking. He's into the top 5. Don't forget, he's on fresher tyres than anybody at the front of the grid. And Destroyer Jack is now making overtakes. He has got Woviner and then he has got Salty Stevens. Can Destroyer Jack recover for a superb podium for Alpine here this evening? I mean, what a podium it could very well be for him. Rossi, meanwhile, has got 15 seconds of penalty, so he will pretty much drop behind Iceman, possibly even just behind James Eam to last place P18. But Destroyer Jack now within 0.2 of a second of Woviner does not have a look on the inside into turn 11. Still, many chances for him to make a move here. Woviner, oh, Jack's onto the grass, but avoiding catastrophe here and just sticking with the Williams barely. The Viking and Gandalf now can play battle. Here comes Gandalf on the inside line on Viking, but does not go for the overtake and stays behind. Luckily, Destroyer Jackland, well, has he only got the 1 lap to do anything? Well, he's got 1 lap because he's got to defend from Viking now, and he is slipping around, and it's super slippery, and he's lost out to Viking as a result. Down to P6 goes Destroyer Jackland, and Viking Fox back into the top 5, and the two Williams may very well be clear for a double top 4 finish in this Grand Prix. But we have got one final lap of racing remaining. It's now or never for Silky Stevens and for Boy Knockout. Who will take victory at the Circuit of the Americas? We're on to the final lap here, and Boy Knockout takes you into turn 1. It's just drifting around, trying to keep whatever traction he has, but he has a full load of battery. But can Silky keep the V-carb at bay, heading into the S as we go through turns 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now heading round into the second sector we go. What can these two drivers do, and can Boy Knockout get close enough? Well, he is getting closer. He is getting close, and it is now about half a second a gap between the pairing as we head into turn 11. This is the final major opportunity for Boy Knockout. There will be a lot of pressure on Silky. Does he nail his final corner? Not quite. It gives Knockout a chance. Can he burn all the battery? And what about a slipstream? He's going to be burning all the way into turn 12. Can he get close enough? No, he cannot. And that means only one thing. Silky Stevens will stay ahead, and this may very well be the move to win him the Grand Prix. Destroyer Jack, meanwhile, down the inside on Viking Fox, trying to get through to turn 12, still unable to do so. And Viking, a Jack with a mistake. Gandalf is through, and Gandalf's into the top 6 now. But we are going to go back towards your race leaders. Silky Stevens still trying to march on. This is going to be it. This is going to be victory. It's going to be back-to-back wins for the team of Kick Sauber, because Silky Stevens has dominated, and Silky Stevens wins the American Grand Prix. Boy Knockout P2 after a tricky battle, but does not quite come out on top, and Salty Stevens records a podium ahead of Woviner in P4, Viking 5th, Gandalf 6th, and Destroyer Jack in P7. James Killer will drop behind William, and William will take P8. Then it will be James, then Mickey, then Frenchie. Then it's, nope, Iceman rises up to P12, Woody, Potwash, Badger, DD, Rotty, and then James Eam, I think he'll come through in P18. He won't quite take Rossi for that P17. But we'll go on to your race winner, Silky Stevens. Fantastic battling there throughout here in Tier 2. Even in the rain, the tricky conditions, obviously restricted drivers trying to make those overtakes with no DRS enabled. But they were all pushing to the absolute limit there. As you can see, the podium celebrations are on. Silky Stevens with the victory as he battled hard to keep Boy Knockout at bay. And it is the Kick Sauber on top here at the Circuit of the Americas. And we'll just allow you to watch the Kick-Sauber celebrations there with the Williams and also the Visa RB on that podium. Salty Stevens beating off his teammate Warner to record a third place finish for Williams. And your full race classification, and Silky Stevens taking the victory ahead of Boy Knockout in P2. Salty Stevens does take home P3, having started in P18, doing fairly similar to his teammate last week at Bahrain. Warner P4, Viking Fox in the top 5. We've got the two Alpines, P6 and P7 for Gandalf and Destroyer Jack. Willie Fernandez impressing to take P8, with James Killer P9, and ARC Mickey finishes in the top 10. Epic Frenchie P11, not quite making it into the top 10. Iceman 86 rising up to P12. Woody P13, you got Potwash Badger, Diddy Friend, Rotti, James Eam, and 2 DNFs for EM69 and for Dutch Beast X. The Silky Stevens takes home a mighty, mighty victory. Almost as good as your brother, yeah, certainly. But P18 to P3, also factoring in the conditions. A very good race for Salty Stevens. But obviously, Salty, you didn't even get the win because that went to your brother Silky, who will be the most delighted, I think, at the moment. Not for a controller compared to a wheel. Oh, wait, you're on controller, and I'm guessing Silky is on wheel. Wow. Let's see what's further up, because obviously I didn't quite see all of the comments further up. James and Sick, I'm guessing, was that James Eam or was that James Keller? That would have been in question. I'll do the interview if you want. Well, he can't do it. Oh, can he not? Let's see what says in the lounge. I've got an at in there. Let's have a look. Okay, no worries. Silky Stevens, all good, mate. But yeah, you done well. A fantastic victory. We haven't actually done a team principal interview there. Oh, you know what I kind of think? I wonder. Because obviously we've got safety cars. Could we have done like a team principal interview? Through the safety car period, maybe. That would be interesting. Yeah, Jack definitely could have been a podium for you. Definitely. Just a few mistakes, I think. Technically controlled it is better in the rain. Don't want to hear the excuses. I fought my way through, but just haven't got it in me yet with no TC. Yeah, I understand. Trust me, I do understand. It's a bad... Wait, well, it's a bad idea going forward. Maybe a little more practice before the race. I think I may have done well. The thing is, though, not many will naturally practice in the rain, whether it's intermediates or full wets. It's not something that you'll naturally try to practice on. So honestly, it does make a lot of sense. So yeah, I don't blame you at all, Jack. I'd be in a very similar scenario, and I think many other drivers would have been as well. And you're pretty much just feeling your way into the conditions, so naturally also it's going to be tricky when it starts raining, because you're going to have to totally adjust to everything, the conditions, your tyres and all that. So yeah, honestly, it reminds me of like Austria in Tier 1, Round 1. So in that race, it started out in the rain, and everybody was just having to adjust to the conditions, and a few drivers were struggling with it. And then after about 2 or 3 laps, I think everybody started to get a bit comfortable, knowing that they couldn't quite push as hard. So yeah, it's fairly similar to that actually. Oh, you know what I wonder? I'm just going to double check something whilst I'm here, because I don't think anybody's around for the interview stuff. So I'm going to double check on my computer, because Jack might know. Are any of our drivers live? No, they're not. Jack, do you know what's happening at the moment with the race? You'll know what race I'm talking about as well. Trying to think if they've got a stream, because I'd like to have a look and just see how our guys are doing actually. I don't even know what league it's in. Which of our guys are live? That's the question. Because I might just give you... Are any of them live? Where are they all? Like if Pesci was live, I'll just send you straight to him. Because then at least you can watch Pesci's POV, right? Because if it's on YouTube, it's not as beneficial, right? It's going to be tricky for me to find it on a computer as well. But yeah, it would be ideal to send you straight to... Obviously, Pesci would have been preferable, but it's not even live. Yeah, I don't even know what link... Is there a streamer we could raid it? Yeah, that's the other thing. I'd be happy to try and do that. But I need to know what the league is called, because I'm not too sure. Obviously, factoring in, it's just one that we've just started out on. Okay, see. So, okay, let me get on to my Chrome, and then I'll get onto the Twitch. So we will be raiding into this league, and we'll see how our guys are getting on. I haven't had a look at it yet, so you'll pretty much all be finding out at the time I'm finding out as well. If I can if I can find out where to get it. Stream Manager, I'm guessing it's on here. Raid, is that the raid? There you go. And we'll raid. I'll try and find them now. Please say they're on they are on Twitch. That's good. CT Roach. Right. It's definitely on here, is it? Yeah, it is. Right, well, we will give you a raid. We're going to have 3 of our drivers are in this race. So we've got Pesci, we've got Black Panther, and we've got Coffee all racing. They are into the final moments of this Grand Prix. So I will be sending you straight there. So we are UFRL. Thank you for watching. And let's see how our guys are getting on.